Hi, welcome back to Rebel Health. I'm Dr. Ellen Vora, a holistic psychiatrist based in New York City. And just a thought right now on this idea of some people will say that eating paleo diet is kind of like a sublimated eating disorder. And they'll look at someone following this restrictive way of eating and they'll think, okay, that person is really just trying to strive for some kind of perfection, or they're trying to restrict, or they're trying to create some sort of body state, and that it's overly controlling and disorderly. And I think there certainly are cases where that's true, and we all have talked about before, like orthorexia, where you kind of just get carried away and get too extreme with wellness practices, especially around diet. But what I've also started to realize is that some people come to diets like the paleo diet because they were sensitive to certain foods that are common in the diet, like gluten, dairy, sugar, and that these sensitivities, these intolerances, the inflammatory way that their bodies were responding to those foods actually created the eating disorder behavior in the first place. And this is like a sensitive idea, and I don't know if I'm explaining it clearly, but basically when you eat a food that you don't tolerate, for whatever reason, for a lot of people, that can actually create eating disorderly patterns. In my patients, I see this all the time, that it's the people that were inflamed by gluten and dairy, they're the ones that developed eating disorders, and they kind of had this drug sort of binge restriction pattern with those foods. So their body wasn't tolerating it. They got into a rhythm of deprivation binge with the foods like gluten, dairy, and sugar, and then that created eating disorder. So at this point, the paleo diet is not their sublimated eating disorder, it is actually their freedom from the eating disorder. So I think that's something for us to just start thinking through and talking through more. I hope that's helpful, and we'll see you next time on Rebel Health.